It's certainly no secret that indie games of today take a lot of hints from 20-year-old games, from its sound design, to its storytelling, to its graphics, to its gameplay. While these old of new games of today usually have some kind of interesting mechanic or interesting thing about it that makes it stand out, it's still quite the rarity when a game really captures my 8-year-old imagination. A new game that really takes me back to when I was 8 years old with my favorite hobby. A.N.N.E is absolutely one of those rarities. The game, as of the time of this recording, recently got kickstarted with all the funding it needs, which means it is on its way. The Kickstarter is still active, and it does have a few stretch goals and different pledges to be able to get. But there's not a lot of time left on the Kickstarter, so if you want to get some stuff, you gotta get it now. Why do I feel this Kickstarter and project are worth your time and your money? Well, Games by Mo, the developer on A.N.N.E, decided to give me an early preview demo of the game. While the gameplay you're going to be seeing in this video isn't the finished product of A.N.N.E, I'd be right happy to tell you why I'm crazy excited about the finished product. So you might be wondering what Games by Mo is all about.
Games by Mo is comprised of essentially me and me.
Mo's been making games for about 14 years, both as a hobby and professionally. The Quebec-based developer has been involved in a few different video game projects, including Boss Fight, the browser mini shmup game, Kashigomo, the iOS-based puzzle game, and a fan project called Chrono Resurrection, which would have been a full 3D version of the classic Chrono Trigger. Unfortunately, Square Enix pulled a cease and desist, and the project has been cancelled. I get why, but man, way to twist the knife, Square Enix. So with several different games under his belt and plenty of experience, Mo wants to go full-time to create a really terrific retro throwback from his youth. And so far has a pretty simple and basic story to it. In a prison planet for robots, your blue hero, number 25, has to find his pink robot companion who's been broken up into pieces all throughout the world. And that's the story. See, told you it was simple and basic. It definitely has potential with a nice heartwarming scene of gathering the different pieces each, and there's also the possibility of a gender swap mode where you can play as the pink robot instead of the blue robot. So there's quite a big mishmash of different elements from different games on display here. The three biggest that came off to me are the Mega Man X series, Blaster Master, and even my beloved Cave Story. The structure is very much in the style of a Metroidvania. You're given a lot of areas to explore to complete objectives in order to open up new areas finding pieces of your girlfriend. In the demo, the goal is to gather logs so this guy can build you a moat to get across the river. The first half of gameplay is on foot, where you'll have a weapon to be able to shoot baddies that leave little green pixels when you take them down. These pixels, called energy crystals in the game, serve as both the XP points and the currency. The more you obtain, the more you'll be able to level up your character, and at the same time it works as currency to be able to buy more upgrades through the submenu. The penalty for dying here is losing all of that extra cash that you can use the upgrades, not the upgrades themselves, which is something I can appreciate. And the place where you did meet your demise is where the crystals are left off, so you can go back and find them if you must. You can aim your gun in all directions, giving you a great sense of control to be able to aim your shots. You have a secondary button that can be used for support items and, I assuming, more powerful weapons. The shield that's provided in the demo of the game comes in pretty handy against some of the shootouts. Also, when you hold down the regular fire button, you'll grow tires for legs and be able to dash through levels and get to hard-to-reach places or even through obstacles. Now that alone is pretty awesome, but all of it meshes together to give you a great sense of control where you're not fighting them and they're working with you. The second half of the game takes place on your ship, where you're equipped with a minigun and a tractor beam. In the demo, the beam lets you carry around blocks to be able to open up new areas, and they can be moved so you can be able to walk around in the other areas on foot. The game's presentation so far is really nice. I love the designs of all the different enemies and characters, giving a nice variety to them, and the world is imaginative, using a nice range of colors for its interiors, with some cool underground blue imagery for the exteriors. But one of the biggest praises I could give for the game is the soundtrack. Take a listen to the action music here. I dare to say it's up there with the Mega Man X series of games on the Super Nintendo. The energy is just magnificent and it really gets me pumped to take on the bad guys. The outdoor theme is really nice and serene that you've been listening throughout this video, and is available for preview to listen on the Kickstarter page. The music is by Miyamoto, the founder of a cover band that remixes soundtracks from Toho games. The experience shows, since the soundtrack here is probably one of the strongest aspects from the demo. Cover bands and artists might want to snag this guy's business card. So, as you might be able to guess, the game isn't really innovative or groundbreaking in terms of bringing new ideas to the table here, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Not every game needs to be a daring new venture into the unknown of game design. And it's like a perfectly made stew, mixing just the right elements together to make a really finely polished game. There aren't a lot of indie games that really capture the feeling of the golden days of the Super Nintendo, but from what I've seen of this game, it really nails it. Games by Mo is aiming for an early to mid 2014 release date for the PC, Mac, and Linux. And according to its stretch goals, it's possible for this game to be released on other platforms such as the Vita, PS3, and Wii U. Whether you're a newcomer interested in what made those old platformer games that us old folk keep going on about so special, or if you're one of those older folk who has a yearning to play with superpower, A.N.N.E is absolutely worth the investment. If you're interested to see the entire preview build from beginning to end, feel free to check out Rock Lee Smile's indie impressions on the game. Oh, and a review by Happy Dragon Pictures DVD Shelf Mover Reviews. Why? Because I freaking love his series and I think he should be watched more, that's why. Sue me. Thanks for watching and see you next time.